Good evening. Welcome to Washington. I'm Brett Baer. The man known for the art of the deal tried to seal the deal with NATO allies today, creating some awkward moments at the opening of the new NATO headquarters. President Trump wants them to pay what they promised, to provide for their defense and to stop over-relying on the American taxpayer. Meanwhile, the president got an earful from Britain's prime minister about information leaks she considers extremely serious, and then he took action. Correspondent Kevin Corke starts us off tonight from NATO headquarters in Brussels. Good evening, Kevin.
Hey there, Brett. Good evening to you. The president is asking the Justice Department to look into that leak by U.S. intelligence officials, apparently to the New York Times, and that actually drew something that I think people would find fairly unprecedented. The Brits are now, at least temporarily, refusing to share information with U.S. intelligence officials as it relates specifically to that devastating terror attack that took place in Manchester. And this is just the latest fallout that actually threatened to overshadow the president's first visit to the NATO summit. They may have been all smiles during the family photo at the NATO summit in Brussels this afternoon, but the seemingly sunny disposition of the leaders appeared to mask clouds of discord within the ranks, especially after U.S. intelligence agencies were accused of leaking information about the terror attack in Manchester to the U.S. media.
I will be making clear to President Trump today that intelligence that is shared between law enforcement agencies must remain secure.
British Prime Minister Theresa May's frustration was the result of disclosures by the New York Times that not only named the alleged terrorist in the Manchester attack, it included details previously known only to British and U.S. intelligence officials, calling into question the safety of information sharing between the longtime allies. For his part, President Trump promised action, saying in a statement, "The alleged leaks coming out of government agencies are deeply troubling. These leaks have been going on for a long time, and my administration will get to the bottom of this." The intelligence dispute comes on a day when another brewing controversy threatened to dampen the opening of NATO's new state-of-the-art headquarters here, with President Trump using his first NATO summit to insist that America's European partners pay up.
Yes. These grave security concerns are the same reason that I have been very, very direct with Secretary Stoltenberg and members of the alliance in saying that NATO members must finally contribute their fair share and meet their financial obligations.
NATO members are supposed to contribute 2% of GDP to fund the group's cooperative defense. But of the 28 countries in the alliance, only 5, the U.S., UK, Poland, Estonia, and Greece, currently meet that criteria.
This is not fair to the people and taxpayers of the United States. And many of these nations owe massive amounts of money from past years and not paying in those past years.
France is close to NATO's 2% GDP goal, and today its newly elected president, Emmanuel Macron, had a working lunch with President Trump on the sidelines here at the summit, after which the men agreed to work together to strengthen the crucial alliance.
Thank you very much.
So after a little more than 30 hours on the ground here in Brussels, the president made his way back to Italy, this time to Sicily, for the G7 summit. And we believe that on the agenda, among the many items, will be economic cooperation, security coordination, and indeed climate change. Brett?
Kevin Corke traveling with the president in Brussels. Thank you. Meanwhile, the search for a new FBI director. Kevin, I'm going to bring you back here. I've got a question for you. The search for a new FBI director is continuing. We had reporting last night that Senator Lieberman had dropped out of the running. What's new with that?
Well, you're right about that. Senator Lieberman obviously very concerned about a possible conflict of interest, so he is out. Now we have learned that there are some other big names as the president continues to expand the net, if you will. I want to share a couple with you. Former senior director Richard McFeely is one big name that we're hearing. Another, that of former Oklahoma Governor Frank Keating. A lot of people certainly familiar with his name. We'll see if either one can make it all the way home with that job. Brett?